Hey legends, this is Magnus, just making another video. Recording gameplay.
I'm ready for anything. Can't wait to
And
see
in this
what's
video, I
next.
think I want to discuss live action versus animation, or like for films and stuff like that, or TV shows as well. So
Patience. All
with live
questions will
action
be answered
remakes and
soon.
stuff, as I've already shared, I ain't got a problem with it, and to an extent, I love them. I personally I love both. So, and often online, I see, okay, in when I'm having general conversations with other people, they aren't as bothered by live action remakes, and then online I see nothing but negativity, hatred, or outright, or what's the right word? Constructive criticism or justified criticism of said projects. So just wanted to just speak into an ether, just share my thoughts. So, and one crux thing that I think of is that in animation versus live action is somewhat of there are ups and downs to both. So, for example, in terms of animation, it's like you're dealing with an open 20 by 20 foot blank canvas to do whatever you want. Whereas with live action, it's almost like a normal piece of paper. So, and what I mean by that is, in animation, you get to build the world you want to tell from the ground up. You can do whatever rules you want, stuff like that. Whereas with live action, you're at the start limited by what you can actually do in real life, and a little bit of extension with animation and CGI afterwards. So one reason I think that in some avenues live action has an advantage over animation, one reason I would say that is because of arguably harder it is to do certain things, especially when it comes to choreographing and movement. Seeing something like that happen in live action comes across as more impressive, or a bit more of a shock when seen.
The grid awaits us.
With animation, and a big reason why I love it so much is that you can do what you want in animation. Like, the double-edged sword of animation is that you set the rules. You set the rules of what you want to do, how you want to do it, and how consistent you're going to be. You set those rules. And the downside to that is, if you're inexperienced or not that good at setting rules or continuously following it, per se, it's almost easy to get lost. But of course, the upside with animation is that you can be more dynamic. You have more leeway for dynamic movement, more expressive emotions. And then, okay, I think part of this is also because I can't really talk about live action versus animation without mentioning the stigma of animation in common audiences' minds. Like, the general consensus that animation is for children and stuff like that, which which I personally disagree with, because I've been watching both since I was young. Since I was a little kid, I watched both live action and animation, like Star Wars, Star Trek, Pirates of the Caribbean. Obvious example. Law and Order, SVU, Living Single. Other sitcoms, and stuff that were live action, but also animated shows and cartoons like Tom and Jerry, SpongeBob SquarePants, Fairly Odd Parents, Lilo and Stitch, the series, Buzz Lightyear, Star Command, and arguably, and then there's some animes like Dinosaur King, stuff like that, where it's like I've always watched a mix of both, and it's like, why is it that live action has stuff for children, has stuff for the kid variety, teens, tweens, young adults and adults, but for animation it's like, this is solely, why is this gotta be solely for children? Like that never made sense to me, at least. And then what makes it kind of worse is that at least I need to check out more, but whenever there's adult animation other than like Family Guy, King of the Hill, shows like that, or Futurama, like other than that, typically when live action, or no, sorry, typically when adult animation is brought up, I always see this almost off-putting art style old choices for adult animation, and I'm like, why? It's like, why is it that the younger audiences, or what that's targeted at, they like, of course we get the intriguing art styles and the ones that catch your eye, but when it comes to like more adult animation, it's always like it's more off-putting, or something that doesn't like catch your eye, or can keep you that invested and stuff. So having adult animation have these iffy like whether it be animation or voice acting and stuff like that, that just worsens the stance of animation for older audiences. So, let's see what else. Then let me see what else. And then of course the other side. Now, of course, anime tends to go with more mature topics in their animation, which is nice. But at least Western media and stuff, for Western media, it's often because it's such a younger demographic target, like many topics are censored or watered down. A big example, of course, being Star Wars animation, I would say, because as much as I love it, and Clone Wars being my personal favorite Star Wars piece of Star Wars media ever, and That is not to say I'm saying Andor isn't great. I honestly feel Andor is the greatest Pixar. I mean, my goodness, I'm sorry. Greatest Star Wars product ever made. Clone Wars is my personal favorite. So, and the reason I say that is because I would agree with what many are saying is that Andor is proof of Andor is a calling card or sign of, and I'll need to discuss. Okay, I'll need to go further into it in another video, but the idea of Star Wars needing to not grow in terms of changing its entire demographic, not like that, but broadening its horizons to go for older audiences, mature, or taking mature themes and putting it in a spotlight, like doing it in a more adult manner, but also keeping what has come before, because there's a difference between going forward but also remembering the past or keeping it with you. There's a difference between that and going in a completely different direction or a new direction and abandoning what came before. There's a difference. Listen for 10 seconds. So back to what I was saying on the point. Clone Wars has many adult subjects in it, but because of how it's formatted, how it's shown, how it's showcased, it's not seen the same light. It's not carried with the weight that Andor takes it, which makes sense. It was made in the 2000s, like late 2000s and early 2010s, if I'm right. Sorry, forgetting timelines, but Andor takes it. Andor, and I would say that, and if something like Andor was animated and did it in the way that Andor did, it would probably make the same. What people say about it would be the same, but I would say that it wouldn't have been talked about as much, because unfortunately, like I said, the stigma of animation, and I'm certain many people know about the meme and the joke when people say Star Wars or Clone Wars is for kids and a compilation of moments from the show. It's like all this is targeted at kids. But so I would agree, this isn't per se a kid's show. This is by no means something like Dora the Explorer, Sesame Street, Bluey, stuff like that. But it was targeted at younger audiences, and I even have a meme in my phone where it's like watching the chaos of Clone Wars, and at the bottom it's like, I don't know which anime it is, but it's this anime character, an anime kid looking at a TV screen with glee, and it's like, that's exactly what it was for me. Like, I was a little kid watching Clone Wars, watching all that was going on with glee and a smile on my face. So I think that if Star Wars did go in the direction, if Star Wars goes in a more mature direction, I do think it'll be for its benefit. But I also feel that the risk of people wanting Lucasfilm to ditch what has come before would be a bad idea, me personally. But going back to animation versus live action, it's like live action stuff gets more, or normal movie making gets more attention, and that's to me, there's no contest to that claim, at least to me. Let me actually do these.
Get ready to rearrange the cosmos. Good answer.
So, let's see. But then, okay, live action remakes, animation. All right. So, I'm starting from. So, for live action remakes, I haven't seen How to Train Your Dragon yet. I haven't seen it. But one main reason I want to see it is because when I saw that trailer, the dragons looked so good. They looked so amazing. And that's part of the reason. That's literally part of the reason. It's because I just like with The Lion King, which to me, I'd say 9.9, not 9.5 or 9 out of 10. Like that movie gave me exactly what I wanted. Like I wasn't going into it per se for them to change everything. If they did, I'd be fine with it. But off base, that was one movie where it's like all I want is a shot for shot recreation of The Lion King, just with realistic looking animals, and it gave me exactly that. So with How to Train Your Dragon, if that's what it is, that's all I need. That's all I need. If they do change some stuff, all right, I'll roll with the punches. So to me, like the reason the dragons look so, because the dragons look so realistic that like I could touch them, feel the skin, all that. That's a big reason I like it. And another part, and kind of links also to Andor, the way that the sets are built when they had to physically make Burke, because in animation, yes, you make it in a computer, you can do whatever you want. In real life, if you're not using the volume, or using like green screens, you build the set yourself. Like you build it, like you have to build it, you have to make it look real, make it feel real. And Andor season 1 and 2 are examples of like lively sets. And mind you, this is coming from someone who can't tell when the volume is being used. You're hearing from somebody who, you ask me to look at an image of an actual set versus the volume, I'm probably not going to be able to tell, and you'd have to point it out to me. So, but being able to, like, when working in a set and building it, it's like that adds another layer of immersion. So, and then with
the wind in your face, honor to the Lee family.
So,
hey, is this a starting line or a mosaic?
So, what else? Darn. So with for live action, and like from in terms of more live action stuff, as y'all likely know if I haven't said it already, I'm in the same camp of people who's like, for me, okay, Disney has been doing the live action remake run and for now I think a decade. They've been going at it for a decade, and right now I don't think they stopping yet. They're not stopping yet, and I'm cool with that because sure, Snow White, they said they were gonna pull back, and I can understand that. But to me, when people were starting to celebrate saying they're ending it, I'm like, wait until Lilo and Stitch. Wait until Lilo and Stitch. If Lilo and Stitch doesn't, if that fails, then you can cheer, party, all that. You can sing your praises. But if Lilo and Stitch makes about a lot of money, which I was guessing guessing like it probably would based off of Stitch's popularity alone, and from what I can, and from research that I've done, it seems to have done real good for itself. That if anything, Disney probably will keep doing live action remakes, but they're going to be probably more selective of which ones get it. And speaking of, like, apparently, I gotta do research to confirm this, but apparently Lilo and Stitch was originally supposed to be a Disney Plus exclusive streaming film like Lady and the Tramp was, or is, and then it got switched to theatrical. So its budget was low to begin with. The budget was somewhat low to begin with because it was a streaming film, and I'm like, if that is true, I'm like, Disney, why? Like, Lady and the Tramp, I could see an argument for saying put that on streaming instead of putting it in theaters. I guess I could see that, but Lilo and Stitch, like, because of how, granted, like, apparently the first film itself didn't do that good when it came out in theaters, but when it came to VHS release, that's where it exploded. So if you wanted to use that metric, sure, but it's like with Stitch's popularity, which they continuously capitalize on regularly, and I'm recording this before June 26th. This video is being recorded before that, but I still see, like, of course, leading up to it, a lot of 626 Day. Like, the fact that there's a whole day named after him, I'm like, how? What makes you think? Why would you consider it a streaming only movie unless you were going to put it behind a small paywall to see it on Disney Plus? Why would you not put it in theaters? And then if that was the case, you could have, like, if it had a movie budget to start, if it didn't have one, you could have had like more budget money, I'd say, to make more budget money to make, or put more effort in either to have the scenes like of the Galactic Federation or scenes with Jumba and Pleakley longer in their alien forms, so that we get to see them more. So, all right. So what else? okay, in terms of, I also see so many arguing like, why are they still doing live action remakes? And to me, the answer is simple. It's profitable. It's still profitable, no matter what anyone says. It's like, it's still sorry, I keep almost saying popular, profitable. So when it stops being profitable, well, that's when they'll stop. And I think right now it was a matter of, dang it. I think like we're arguably at the point now where it's like the profitability of the live action remakes have gone slightly down, where Disney can't per se remake everything. Where they're probably gonna want to be more selective on which ones. Snow White being an example, where it's like they need to pick movies that will make money. So the ones that I think still are options on the table would be, okay, Hunchback of Notre Dame, I could see, but I almost fear that one would end up being a Disney Plus release if they're not confident in it. Especially because of course the biggest most of the magnifying glasses are going to be put on Frollo. I think Frollo, who you cast as him, how he's characterized, and of course his Hellfire song is going to be what many people are going to look at. And then there's the stance on religion. That's another thing. So it's like, that one can be a little bit tricky. Tarzan, I can see. The only thing with Tarzan is that I would feel that movie would have to be a shot-for-shot remake because of how, unless you want to give more time to Tarzan's human parents and Kala Kerchak's first son, unless you want to do like that, I think could be a welcome change. But otherwise, it's like, if it's not a shot-for-shot remake, because of how many other Tarzan films there are out there, you would need to do it shot-for-shot to make sure this one makes a splash. And on top of that, I would say I would ask, I hope I'm saying the right artist, because I mix up artists sometimes. Phil Collins. I would probably ask if Phil Collins were willing for him to come in and either redo or remix the score. Like either redo/remix the score and stuff like that. Possibly like look at maybe there were cut concepts and stuff that they could put in. Ooh, that was close. And then maybe put that in there, so that's a good Easter egg. Or did you know this was cut from the film, so we put it in this one? something like that. Darn it. So, what else? So that's Tarzan, Hunchback of Notre Dame. We know we're getting Moana. That one's gonna have. I can see that one having a few changes, regardless, because Dwayne The Rock Johnson is big, but pretty much no one is as big as Maui. So, I do wonder how the monsters will look, because I know Taka will look. Tafiti and Taka, I'm certain are gonna look beautiful. Well, if they put Tamatoa in the film, I wonder how he's gonna look. I wonder how he'll look. What else? And probably for a live action remake of Moana, which the movie is 10 years old, but I think it's 10 years old or 9. I think it's 9, because it came out in 2016. And when it comes out, I think it'll be 10 years old. Sure, it's been a while, but I still say like anything 15 years and up. 15 years and up can get a live action remake. Anything less, to me, is a no, except for one movie in particular. Well, nah, just one. Well, hold on.
Hey, we gonna do this? I'm kind of on a schedule.
I ain't got enough. So, what else? Okay, let me speak on the one that I think can get a pass. Raya and the Last Dragon. I think that one can get a live action remake sooner than later, because, in short, I think that it's a good film that dang near falls apart in the third act, mainly because of how the theme of trust basically breaks apart in the final act with Namari and Raya, because I think that the final argument about trust and stuff was like, I am completely fine with the message. I am cool with it. It's how they execute it, as well as with Sisu. I can understand someone being hopeful. Heck, some of my favorite characters in fiction are the ones that are hopeful, try and see the good in people. But what I don't agree with is when a hero is blindly trying to redeem someone or see the good in them when they have been shown to their face that they're wrong. Slight examples being Sonic Prime, with Sonic continuously going to 9, aka a variant or other version of Tails, and despite him showing again and again he's not changing his mind, he keeps Sonic laments that I can get through to him, and it, at least that instance, it annoyed me and stuff like that. So with Sisu's blind trust, especially after, like, before her betrayal by the older queen of one of the nations, I can understand. I understand it from that point. But after that, it's like, Sisu, you were lied and betrayed straight to your face. It's, even if you try to, even if you're still hopeful, you could at least have your mindset be changed, like be altered a little bit. Even Steven in Steven Universe was like, even he could get skeptical of people after they lied to his face. And sure, they could have gone the way Steven did in. They could have gone the way Steven did with Peridot, where after Peridot was using Steven, he was hurt about it, but he reacted in like locking Peridot away temporarily and sharing how he trusted her and all that. Like even Steven, where it's like I personally have some conflicts with Steven, particularly him never asking follow-up questions and stuff. But even he knew when to draw a line when it came to trust. So a live-action remake of Raya and the Last Dragon could benefit the movie itself by fixing up Sisu a little bit, and actively saying like, yes, there are people, like sometimes there's a difference between trusting, like having your reserves on trusting people and not trusting people outright because you have implicit either biases or because you've been hurt so many times you don't trust anyone. There's a difference, but that like you are understandable and justified for not trusting everyone, but that doesn't excuse being per se untrustworthy yourself. So a live action remake can give that a second chance, and I'd actually almost argue Wish could use one. I could argue Wish could use a live action remake, but it could happen sooner than later, but give it a few more years. And that they'd probably make it a streaming exclusive. They'd probably make it a Disney Plus exclusive, but probably, yeah, like that probably falls under a streaming exclusive. But to me, that could fit. That could go. You could put that one in theaters and rework the story to be more climactic. Keep Asha becoming a fairy godmother. Keep that, and her wanting to be the apprentice of the king, but maybe make it where she felt like being the king's apprentice is the only thing that makes her worthy. Like, if you're going to have the Seven Dwarf reference with her friend group, do more with that. Do more with them, and the sleepy. I hate that I don't remember their names. Do more with them where it's like you understand what each of their wishes are. So that the betrayal of the sleepy equivalent wanting to be a loyal knight, right, makes sense. Like where it's like make that okay. Granted, they don't remember what it is, but you could leave more hints as to what it could have been. Like maybe there are these virtues that he has, and these ideas that often are synonymous with being a knight. Like when King Magnifico takes someone's dreams. King Magnifico takes someone's dreams. He takes away what it specifically was, but you still have some kind of linking memory or traits of what that wish was. Because to me, it's like that movie is. I made 2 videos about it. I made 2 videos about my thoughts on Wish, and I really liked the movie. I just think it was very, very, very. It was not the right movie to use for. It wasn't the right movie to use for a 100-year centennial celebration. That was sure for many. It was showing what Disney is now, and I can see that. But like for a 100 centennial celebration, that's not the movie you go with. That's not the movie you go with, or that's not the movie you per se want to use for that. So a remake of that could make it better. That could fix things around with the story.
Time for the grand tour.
What else? Okay, other options. Frozen. I would say a Frozen remake would be a yes if they weren't doing Frozen 3 and Frozen 4. If they weren't doing those 2 films right now, I'd say yes. But since they're doing it, no. I believe a live-action Princess and the Frog that is happening. And I'm pretty sure what I personally think wish would happen ain't gonna happen. So what I basically thought of was if there was going to be a live-action Princess and the Frog, either have Charlotte LaBeouf be the main character, or my more preferred option have Tiana be white. And I say that for terms of equal, like fair is fair, right? Like being fair and being equal. Because I ain't got no problem with Halle Bailey being Ariel. I don't have a problem with it. But I do agree that for ginger, red hair girls and boys alike, like, media has taken away a lot of ginger haired characters in media, and they often switch it with black characters. I've seen it, so I'm not blind to it. So to make it fair, have Tiana either have Tiana as white, and rework the story in kind, or have Charlotte LaBeouf be the main character of the film. Just to be fair, because if people want to say, because anyone who wants to say that's racist, that's taking away representation from black kids and black girls, where were y'all? Like, of course y'all didn't care about, or y'all either didn't care or made every single argument under the sun as to why
I guess we're really doing this.
Ariel can be played by Halle Bailey. You made it and I was one of those people. Where it's like, mermaids are fictional creatures. You can make them make them any race you want. And I'd argue that the live action remake of Little Mermaid, I really enjoyed that one. Having all Triton's daughters be different races was a great touch. Since they each are supposed to each represent and rule the 7 seas. So So to me, that makes sense. So, live action Princess and the Frog. I wonder how that's gonna look, and I wonder who they may choose for Dr. Facilier. Dr. Facilier, or is it Facilier? I always get confused on how to say it. So, okay, what others? Okay, I need to go back to what I was saying. Like, I'm one of the people who I'm clamoring for live action Treasure Planet and Atlantis Lost Empire. Those are the two that I want more than anything. Those are the two films I want more than anything to get a remake. And I'm like, at least if they end it there, I'll be happy. I'm like, don't stop the live action remakes at least until these two films are made. Come on, man. Because those are more like, anyone will say those are cult classics. They didn't do well when they came out, whether it be from overall interest or company sabotage. So it's like, if you, like, give these movies a chance. Give these two movies a chance to see how many people love these things. And granted, many don't like live action remakes. I understand that, but I at least feel like as a last hurrah, like Treasure Planet and Atlantis Lost Empire could do well. Heck, the alien designs in Treasure Planet could look great in live action, which, again, liking to my point at the beginning of the video, like seeing certain stuff in live action where it's like you could touch it, see it in real life. It's just intriguing to me. What else? Okay, what's another film? Live action Meet the Robinsons. I'm certain that would get a streaming release, but I think that could be good. I think that could be a fun film. Live action Bolt. That would, if you're confident in Bolt's popularity as a dog, if you're confident in Bolt's popularity as a dog, I could see it. But it's like, otherwise, it's like, I don't know about that. Or like Animal Lovers with Mittens, Rhino, all that. Let's see, what else? We've already got Pete's Dragon. We got Cruella, and we arguably long been had 101 Dalmatians. Fox and the Hound, that could work. Fox and the Hound can work. Let's see. Fox and the Hound, I'm pretty sure that would be a streaming release. Aristocats, that could work. One would probably also get a streaming release.
Where am I and what am I? Don't stop.
Hercules, please. Theater release for Hercules, please. And I don't don't know who could play who. I don't know, but at least I'd give it a shot. I want to give it a shot. See what else. And since this video is getting so long, I won't be able to get to my other point, which I'll have to speak of in another video, where I basically want to talk about like doing the opposite, like instead of live action remakes, getting animated remakes of live action films. Yeah, and I'm just gonna go deep dive into that idea. But what's another film? What's another one? Come on. I'm a Disney fan. I should know this. Okay, here's one. And I was wondering about making a short about it, and maybe I will one day. But okay, if Disney ever said they're doing a live action Emperor's New Groove, I'd literally look at that announcement with my hand in my mouth, out biting my knuckles in nervousness. I'd be actively nervous because I'd be full on board with it if you're going for what Emperor's New Groove was supposed to originally be, Kingdom of the Sun. If you were going for like making a live action movie of Kingdom of the Sun, I'm completely down for that. I'm completely cool with that, because we could finally have a movie where we hear Snuff Out the Light from Yzma, whoever you get to play her. But because unfortunately the actress who plays Yzma passed away, we can likely find like a decent actress who can pull off Yzma in her style. But if you're saying a live action remake of Emperor's New Groove, I'm gonna be nervous, because I would argue more so. Okay, to me, Emperor's New Groove is funnier than Lilo and Stitch, and to me, I love Emperor's New Groove more than Lilo and Stitch. And to me, Emperor's New Groove is comedy, Disney comedy gold, and when you like, there are videos. I'll probably link a video to what happened behind the scenes with how it went from Kingdom of the Sun to Emperor's New Groove, where basically they didn't have a script. They didn't have a script basically for Emperor's New Groove, and it was like, and when you hear about how that movie came to be, it is a miracle that movie ended up as peak, as beautiful, as hilarious as it is. It is amazing how Emperor's New Groove ended up as great as it is with the cards stacked against them. So if Disney says they're making a live action Emperor's New Groove, I'm gonna be actively nervous, because I'm like, now you guys listen. I love many of the live action remakes, and I can find something good to say about every single one of them. But Emperor's New Groove, I'm certain there would be something I like, but it's like, because of the certain cast in that movie, the jokes in it, and how it uses animation and the stereotypes or tropes in animation and cartoon logic, it would be very, very hard in my mind to pull that off. To pull that specifically off would be hard in my eyes. So, like, live action Kingdom of the Sun, I'm all in. Live action Emperor's New Groove, I'm gonna be nervous. I'm gonna actively be nervous. And listen, this is just me. This is just how I feel about it. I know many people are mad about the live action Lilo and Stitch, which I'm aware, but I at least think a live action Emperor's New Groove at 5 minute mark. A lot of people. A live action Emperor's New Groove. People go, oh man, people would not give that one. I don't know if people would give that one a chance. I don't think people would give that one a chance. I don't think people would, but because the last thing they would want is that movie being subpar.
Wait to see how this turns out. This is one of them. Mickey Mouse is in the
Anyway,
house.
let me see what are some others.
This one's for Arendelle.
Live action Black Cauldron. I need to, like, at some point I probably want to see the Black Cauldron for real, like to see what it's like. But it's like, I don't know. Like, sure, up for grabs, but I'm like, that one is probably more of a streaming release. Sword in the Stone, if they ever touch that, streaming release. Apparently Lion King 2, like live action Lion King 2 is in the works, and I'm like, I'm all in for that. All I know is Kovu better look good. Kovu better look good in this movie. I need my man, I need my boy to look good, because his animated model looks amazing. Like, I'd say him and Kiara are probably my favorite characters in that film, and it ain't that hard to do Kiara. Like, it's Kovu that I want to know. Like, Kovu, I need to know how he gonna look. What else? If they announced a live action Lion King 1.5, bruh, again, I'm gonna be very nervous, because that one to me is also like Disney Comedy Gold. That is Disney Comedy Gold second, I'd say second to Emperor's New Groove, and at number 3 Kronk's New Groove in terms of Disney comedy. So if they said they want to do a live action like what I have, I'm like, you could arguably do it, like do it in the format that Mufasa the Lion King did. You could do a similar thing. You could do a similar thing with it. I can see that. It just won't be exactly the same because of how much the fourth wall breaks in Lion King 1.5 are in the context of like, this is a real life theater where Pumbaa and Timon are pausing throughout and stuff. What else? Darn it. When I need to think of, when I want to talk about something, my brain forgets stuff. Let's see. I don't think this would ever get a live action remake. I don't think this would ever. I fear not even for a streaming release. A live action Home on the Range, that just seems so out of place. I don't know if they do it. I'd watch it. I'd absolutely watch it. But I don't know if they ever do it. Chicken Little, I don't think they'd ever do a live action remake of that. If they did, I'd be very interested in see what those models look like, because those models are gonna look different. So I'd watch it just to see how the animation works. Otherwise, if I was approaching the idea of a live action Chicken Little, I would actually just go in the terms of almost like a musical, where it's like all the characters are human. All the characters are human, but you can tell what animals they're supposed to be acting like. You know which animals they're modeled after. What else? Aladdin 2, like with an Aladdin sequel. I'm running out of time. Comment, like, subscribe, share this video. Hope you enjoy it. See you later. Thank you for listening.